Well, hello there and welcome to Novella Sims. I'm Novi and today I'm bringing you part 2 of my Get Famous speed build for Mirage Park Estate. If you haven't watched part 1, I'll try my best to remember to put the link in the description below so you can check that out. That video just has purely the exterior of Mirage Park Estate, and this video I'm doing all the interiors of the 3 homes on this one lot. Now, like I mentioned on my previous video, I would not describe myself as a builder at all, yet alone a decorator. So again, doing this build for me was all about challenging myself and developing, I guess as a simmer, just to enjoy this part of The Sims where you're building homes and decorating. And similar to the exterior video, because each of these homes are different and unique, I got to explore, I guess, different decorating styles, I would say. So the first home that I build, I try my best just to experiment with layouts. I didn't really want boxy rooms in the property, and this is definitely the rundown property of the lot. It's my fixer-upper, as I'm calling it, and it's for a character called Piper. So this is called Piper's Place in my mind. I use a lot of the city living items, the rundown ones, and I think the things from the vampire stuff pack with the damps and the scrapes on the walls, so on and so forth, and I use that throughout the property. Again, it's for your sim who's just moved to Del Sol Valley without a penny to their name, and they've gotten the cheapest home they could possibly get in the cheapest area in Del Sol Valley, and so I thought it was quite fitting to build a home like this essentially. I have to admit, I'm a little bit all over the place whilst I decorate this lot. I'm the type of person, as soon as, for example, I'm doing curtains in the living room, then I go to the bedroom and add all the curtains and things like that. I don't have like a standard order of decorating, and I really wish I did. So I flitter like in between the living room and then the kitchen and then the bedroom and then back to the living room again. So I'm trying my best. I think it's nice to decorate in order, but I don't know. My mind doesn't work like that. It's all mumble jumble sometimes. And so I just go through and whatever items I see in the catalogue, I'll just pluck it up and put it wherever I would like to put it. And you'll also notice, I don't know if other builders do this, but I like decorate first and then do the wallpaper last because I really don't like the wallpaper to dictate the style of the room. Like I want to know the style of the room first and then just find a wallpaper that complements that. But I think you'll see later on in the video that that doesn't always go to plan. I think I had to change one of the rooms in the Spanish style home just because I actually couldn't find the wallpaper to go with the room. But that home is a mess anyway. I'll just talk about that later. So other than Piper's Place being the fixer-upper of the lot, I didn't really have anything else in mind. It was more just to see what was in the game and see what I could use that could help the theme. I didn't even really have a color scheme. I just knew I wanted it to look cheap, to look tacky, to look like it needed a lot of work to be done. And I definitely think I managed to accomplish that sort of style using sort of old couches that you might have gotten from the second-hand store, or items that might have been left there by the previous tenant. I wouldn't really say there's much flow to the home either. There's no color scheme that's pulling through or flooring that's pulling through to make it all cohesive. Each room is its own little dump, I would say. But overall, we'll see how this place develops and changes whilst the Sims living it and obviously make it their own. And I'm really, really hoping that Piper, who will be doing the actress career in my Let's Play, really changes this place and makes it from a horrible rundown house into a beautiful family home maybe. I'm not quite sure where a second bedroom would go. All of the homes on this lot don't really have the space for second homes, but the good thing is that they're all one level. So maybe if they do expand and they do have families, we can look at making them 2-level homes. As I go through the lot, I definitely do try to check out some of the Get Famous items. I don't think there was a lot that I actually used in the build, to be honest, which seems kind of silly considering this is a Get Famous build. But I think it just turned out this way. And I think because I had a specific theme in mind, there weren't a lot of items, I would say, in Get Famous that sort of matched that theme. I think if you're definitely doing some of these celebrity mansions that are all over YouTube and these luxury homes and some of these old style Italian homes, they've definitely got some great home items for that, I would say. I know I tried to use some of the mid-century modern furniture. That's also sort of the other style in the Get Famous pack. But to be honest, it didn't really fit in with the theme that I wanted to use for each home. So that was unfortunate. I really do hope I get to use those items at some point. I think one thing you'll notice throughout the build is that the homes are still quite sparse, I would say. There's not a lot of clutter. There's definitely a lot more that could have been added. And I think when you see the intro, you'll notice that there are some things that I have added that I did when I was doing the intro and didn't put it in the build. So I try and fill it up a little bit more, but again, I do expect this place to change as the Sims obviously develop. So next up is Austin's place. So Austin is a Sim who I really, really adore. And he lives in the very modern but minimalistic type of home. So it's not really like warm, but it's definitely quite stylish, I would say. Austin isn't new to Del Sol Valley in my mind. The Sim I've created, this is a Del Sol Valley Sim. Like, they're sort of born and raised in the valley. He's a valley boy. So I think if you've got a valley Sim in mind, then this would be a great place for them to live. I think the kitchen diner area is probably my favorite. It's very, very sleek. I do experiment. I try to use, I've forgotten what you call them, the counters or what are they called? The bar type ones that you can sit at to create a sort of circular seating area, but that kind of didn't work out just because of the space. Again, I realized whilst I was decorating, actually, these homes they were tinier than I thought they would be. I thought, oh gosh, this is a massive lot. I don't know how I'm going to fill the space, but I realized actually I could have done with a little bit more space. Definitely in Piper's place and in Austin's place. I think the Spanish style home had enough space, and I think obviously that was the biggest. So I do go ahead and use the Get Famous wardrobe in Austin's bedroom at least. I can't recall if I managed to get in any other Get Famous items in this lot. You'll notice that I do put down the media station, I think it's called. And that's because Austin will be doing sort of blogging and also video production. That's his main job. He's also a very fit Sim, so he works out a lot. He also meditates a lot. He's all about mind, body, and soul. So that's definitely what I was thinking when I was creating this home. It's definitely somebody who sort of tries their best to live a different type of lifestyle than what you would expect from Sims in Del Sol Valley. Like I mentioned in the exterior speed build video, what I love about this home the most is definitely, I would say, the working area or meditation area. Just the amount of light that comes through there is just absolutely fantastic. The lighting in The Sims 4 I think is really, really beautiful. And I think when you use Reshade also, it can just bring the game to life a little bit more. I find that the game graphics or the game colors are a little bit dull, but I do use Reshade just to help add a bit more brightness and contrast, I find. I can't wait to use the video blogging station. I've seen so many Let's Plays already of people doing it, and I know it's probably like over and everyone's seen it all, but I can't wait to do it myself actually. I was going to give Austin, I think, a washing machine and dryer, but again, I was thinking he's a very eco-friendly Sim, I would say as well. So he's somebody who very much would wash his clothes himself and hang it out on the dryer. So I've just put it on the front porch. Again, it's the type of area where I think you can do that. It's definitely not something you would see in the Pinnacles, but it's very much his lifestyle. And I do put in some garden planters as well, because I'm sure he's the type of Sim who would want to eat some organic organic type of foods and grow his own vegetables. He's a very earthy sim, is what I would say. So I really, really love this home. And I think, again, what I love is that when you're building and you've already got a character in mind, that's sort of what I let dictate Austin's place in terms of decorating. I use definitely some of the spa day items and try to make it very tranquil, very zen, again, sleek and minimalistic. And so I really, really enjoyed making his home. And I think if I did another speed build, I would like to try doing a modern home. I find that those type of styles in The Sims 4 are the best. We've got the items for it, and it just lends itself so well to that sort of sleek modern style. So I do have to say, when I start Austin's bathroom, I don't know why it took me so long to work on this tiny space. Whilst I was decorating it, I was thinking, gosh, I should have watched a few more tiny home videos just so I can see what to do with such a small bathroom, like where the door would go, where the toilets would go. I know it can be done, but it took me so long because I wanted to put in the bathtub and shower, not just a shower, but it just wasn't working. I couldn't get all the items in. And even in my mind, I was thinking, wait a minute, Austin's not the type of person who would actually have a bath. He would shower because he wouldn't want to waste the amount of water that you would use whilst you're bathing in comparison to showering. So I was like, okay, I think later on I do go ahead and scrap the bathtub and just put a shower in there. And I thought, gosh, what an epic waste of time that I was using just to move everything around and trying to get things right. But I used the marble floor in Get Famous. I thought it was really nice, really interesting. I really like the texture of it. And that's, again, something that I can't wait to see or use in a bigger build. And that marble floor is really nice. Austin's bedroom pretty much is like the rest of the home. Not much in it, very sleek, very minimalistic. Again, in the intro, you would have noticed I put a painting up that you might not see in the build, and I go in and just add some extra things, just give them some extra touches. But overall, it's not a home that I would say needs a lot of clutter, because that's not its style overall. But again, I can't wait to play in this home and check it all out with Austin. One of the items I love the most in Austin's bedroom are the side tables that I use. I can't recall, I don't know if it's Spa Day pack, where it's the side tables that have the lights on them, and I think it's really, really nice, and it matches the bed really well. I think I watched one of Lil Simsy's videos recently, and she was talking about how the color matches aren't very well in the Sims 4 build mode. They don't match very well, and it's really, really hard to, find side tables that match with beds, so on and so forth. And so I felt really, really fortunate to actually find a table from a different pack that actually matches a bed. Actually, am I making that up? Are they in the same pack? Oh man, I don't know. I'll need to double check that. I might just be getting excited for no reason, thinking they're from different packs when actually they're from the same pack. So the last home that I go on to build is obviously the Spanish style home. And I have to admit, this home has an identity crisis. I don't quite know what I am going to do with it or how this home is going to develop. And I think it's because there's a conflict between what I wanted the home to look like and the sim who lives here, who they are and what they do. So if you haven't seen already, I have a makeover video for Vanessa Chong, who is one of the Sims that were created by EA. So she's one of the townies. And Vanessa Chong, in my mind, she's a K-pop princess. She's a pastel type of Sim. She's already a celebrity, so I knew that she could have the bigger house and have it have more items in it and, more luxuries, I guess I would say. But Vanessa and this home, I don't think I got the styles right at all, because the home, I wanted it to be almost like a family home, I would say. Again, very the Jungle Pack inspired, I would say. So definitely trying to use those sort of Spanish things. But then you've got this sort of pastel princess sim. And so they just don't match at all. And so I really struggled. In the bedroom, I made it quite girly, I would say, but again, quite neutral. But then you don't really see the Spanish style that I was hoping to get in my head. matching the bedroom. And similarly in the kitchen I absolutely love. It's definitely the theme that I was going for. And I think when I was building the kitchen, I forgot that Vanessa is the sim that would actually be living in there. And so I think I did like stop halfway and I think, oh, this doesn't suit Vanessa at all. But I thought, oh gosh, I don't care. I really like the kitchen the way it is. It's very much a family type home, massive, nice dining room. And I thought, in my mind, maybe it's somewhere where Vanessa is renting, and it's like maybe a home that belongs to the record label, because in my mind and in Vanessa's backstory for me, now that she's switched from being an actress to a K-pop star, you might be living in accommodation that belongs to the record label. So in my mind, it's like, yeah, this is the home that belongs to the record label, and they put their new artists in this home so they can go ahead and create music. And so I thought I just have to let bygones be bygones. I'm really interested to see how this house develops the most, whether Vanessa changes and suits that style of home more, or whether she will change the home to suit her. So whether it will become more bright, more eccentric perhaps, and just have these different elements in there. You'll actually notice when I do the kitchen, I do actually struggle with the center tables. I've forgotten the terminology for it. Oh my gosh. The center islands, the kitchen islands. So I struggle with it. I'm not quite sure what it is. I tried to use the manual counters so I could do it automatically. But it just wasn't working. I wasn't sure if I was mixing or matching or what was going on, but it did work after a while. When I try to move it, it messes up again. I'm not sure if there's something to do with the auto or the manual, but eventually we get there. And again, I think that's why I love this kitchen the most, having that beautiful island in there. I think that's definitely what you expect to see, I guess, in a family style home, or what I would love to see in a family style home. And so again, we've definitely still got this conflict with what this home looks like and what Vanessa, or who Vanessa is, I should say. But again, maybe I'm thinking that Vanessa won't stay in that home for very long. Maybe somebody else will move in who suits that home more. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I go ahead and use the Get Famous bar, and I put that in the living room. I hope I keep it there. I think actually it goes to the foyer area, which is sort of what's going to be the party area in Vanessa's home. I can see her throwing a lot of parties. She's a good girl who wants some good fun at home, perhaps, and she'll invite all her celebrity friends and musician friends around. You will see that obviously as I remember items like bins, for example, I go back to the other homes and put bins in their homes. And I think I do the same with laundry as well. I forgot to put laundry baskets. I know laundry will work even if as long as it's just on the lot, but I thought it's always nice for each home to have their own laundry bin. And I think there are a couple of other items as well that I might have forgotten whilst I was doing Austin's place and Piper's place, and I go back and put those items in the home. Again, I got to, add a bit more clutter and a bit more decoration in these homes, because that's what it lends itself to. Piper's place was the rundown place. It was not going to have, beautiful muffins sitting on the kitchen counter and things like that. And Austin wouldn't want that there because he's a minimalist, so he doesn't want all this extra clutter in his kitchen. And his kitchen is actually quite small. I was looking at it again and thinking, gosh, he's only got one counter to actually work off. Because I'm not sure if where the other kitchen stalls are, if they can where they sit and eat, if he can actually cut there. I don't know, so I'm going to have to play test that and double check. And again, in the bathroom in Vanessa's place, again, identity crisis. I end up just dumping lots of clutter on the counters by the end of it. Trying to decide whether, is she that type of sim who's going to have lots of stuff out on the table, or is she going to be neat? I don't know. Again, it's because I was trying to make the house complement her and her complement the house, and I'm not sure if it works out, to be honest. You can tell me in the comments below whether you think this type of home lends itself to a sort of pastel K-pop princess. Yeah, I already know what the answer is. The answer is no. So we'll just see. I'm going to play. When I play with Vanessa in this home, I'll just see how it goes. Maybe she won't last long, or maybe we'll completely demolish the house and start again. I'm not sure. But overall, I had a good time just creating it and doing my best. You see again that I tried to use the Get Famous bed, I think, in this home, but I think it was either the colors or just the style. It just wasn't what I wanted. So I really, really struggled with this home, actually. Okay, I don't really have much else to add. Again, you will notice in the intro video that there are some items that I change in terms of decoration and style, just to make it seem a bit more lived in. And you also get a peek at Austin and Piper, who was sitting on Vanessa's couch. I couldn't be bothered to get them out of the house when I was doing that shot, so I thought I'll let the sneak peek just stay in there. But in my Let's Play, they actually don't know each other yet, so we'll see. They'll have a housewarming or some neighborly greetings coming up soon. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this video showing the interior of Mirage Park Estate. Please don't forget to go ahead and like this and comment on what you enjoyed. Out of the 3 homes, which one do you like the best? Do you like Piper's rundown place that you feel like you can fix up? Or do you like Austin's place, the very modern, minimalistic, spiritual home? Or is Vanessa's place up your street? I'm not really sure. The kitchen's definitely up my street. I'm not sure about the rest of the home, to be quite frank, but we'll see how that goes. So please do let me know in the comments below, and of course subscribe if you are excited to see my Sims as they come out. I know everyone's already done Get Famous things, but mine isn't going to be completely about the pack. I'm going to try and make it as different as possible, and that way people get to enjoy it months later. So that's enough from me, Novi. Until next time, bye.